Good afternoon. I drive a relatively old car, a 2013 Hyundai Elantra to be exact. The old bird has 156,000 miles on it, peeling paint, and a broken rear left turn signal. It also has a CD player. And in our world of Spotify, streaming, and digital music, that poor CD player's been ignored for years. But like any responsible vehicle owner, I keep CDs in the car because why not? There are long stretches of this country where cell service is spotty, and I'd much rather listen to the Postal Service's give up front to back than the rattling of my own thoughts. So a few months back, my son was in the front seat of the car and was rooting around when he found one of those CDs. It was a copy of the Aquabats' High Five Soup, a decent entry in the Superhero Ska Band's catalog. And they also happened to be his favorite band because parenting, I guess. And he asked me, "Dad, what's this?" So I go into the explanation. "Son, that's a CD, a compact disc. Before we had cell phones and Spotify, that's what we used to listen to music on." And he asked, "Does it work in the car?" And I replied, "It sure does." And without prompting, he pulls out the CD, turns it over, smiles at his reflection in the shiny underside, and slides it into the receiver. And then he just let it play. Now, he knew a few of the songs from his existing fandom, but there were some new treasures to be found. And as he listened, without my prompting, without me asking, he pulled out the liner notes, read the lyrics along with the songs. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see connections forming. He could see the band's silly costumes on the liner notes coupled with ridiculous songs about shark fighters and jumping bikes off your best friend's roof. And since then, we've listened to that entire CD well over 50 times. And each and every time, he pulls out the now dog-eared liner notes and reads along. Friends, family, relations of all types, we're gathered here today to mourn the loss of a dear friend, physical media. And while a subset of our community grieves the loss, a larger, more vocal majority calls us just old-timers. People who, due to age, experience, or some random cocktail of the two, are still clinging to the outdated and obsolete. And while it won't change the reality of our pain today, and the decisions some of the higher-ups at Sony and other places are sure to make down the line, there's one misconception I feel led to address. Physical media isn't just nostalgia, and my 10-year-old son is living proof. We live in a world where touch is dying, where reading a friend's text has replaced hearing their voice, a place where emojis replace emotion. When you buy an album or a game or a movie and actually feel the thing in your hand, a connection is born. Something unexplainable by rational science, because you would think buying a game on Steam or watching a movie on Netflix is exactly the same. It's the same content, same way of ingesting it, and so much easier. But the ancient ritual of opening a case, inserting a disc, and hitting play builds an invisible bridge that streaming and digital simply doesn't do. Yes, I'm well aware our dear friend's passing was inevitable, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't mourn it. Because just like I used to go to a friend's house to borrow their copy of Castlevania or DuckTales on the NES, my son should be allowed to snag a copy of Gran Turismo 7 from his best bud and spend the weekend racing, and then just give it back. When he buys his first game with his own money, he shouldn't have to worry about it disappearing in a decade when the servers shut down. My hope is that he lives a life owning, not just renting, leasing, and borrowing. And while this may seem small, let's zoom out. I'd like him to own a home one day, buy a car, pay it off, and drive the thing until the wheels explode. Who knows? Maybe it'll have a CD player in it. You see, the death of physical media isn't just an outdated technology going the way of the dinosaur. It's yet another rotten tooth falling from the mouth of consumerism, and the smile just isn't the same. So, gathered friends, lift one up and pour one out for our dearly departed. Yes, we'll still consume like nothing happened, but don't be surprised if the taste is just a little different, just a little worse than what it was before. And I don't know what you're going to do in your home, but as for my house, we're going to do things the old-fashioned way. Listen to CDs, watch movies on disc, and create those connections the old-fashioned way. Because sometimes the old ways are better for reasons we can't understand and can't comprehend. Thanks for having me here today.